Rhee was one of the most popular characters on The Walking Dead. Watch this video to find out what Steven Yeun really thinks about his character's demise.
That's what's cool about this show, is that it's not predictable characters behaving in a very satisfying story arc where it's...
Discover his true feelings about leaving the show. And finally, why don't we see him on our screens anymore? The unexpected success. Steven Yeun became one of the most famous young actors in Hollywood almost overnight. Amazingly, The Walking Dead was his second audition after relocating to Los Angeles.
Right before this came about, I actually tested for something else, which I was so happy for, and then it didn't happen, which now, in hindsight, is the best blessing ever.
One minute he was an unemployed actor, and the next minute he was cast in a TV show. It was literally life-changing, he recalled. Although the show features a large ensemble cast, Steven was a major part of its success. He quickly became a fan favorite after Glenn demonstrated a willingness to risk his life to protect others. Yeun became an object of fan obsession. Like, people would literally get his face tattooed on their chests. So it's no wonder that Glenn's grisly demise caused outrage among loyal viewers. Some of them even ditched the show altogether. But was Steven's exit from the show really inevitable? Could Yeun have kept Glenn alive? Leaving the world of The Walking Dead wasn't as hard for Steven as it was for his fans. Surprisingly, the actor admitted that if he had pushed for it, maybe Glenn would have survived. However, there was more than one reason why Yeun didn't want to try to change his character's gruesome fate. He knew that Glenn was going to be killed off ever since he read it in the original comic books, which was 2 years before it happened in the series. And he wanted his character to die the same way in the show too. But for me, I'll be honest, I had a great time, shared Yeun. To pretend to die is the best. Steven actually thought that it would serve the larger narrative as well. Obviously, he, just like Michael Cudlitz, had to keep this information a secret till the very end, even from his little cousin.
Or she texted me, she's like, "Are you dead?" And I just didn't respond.
But the actor also felt limited by the character's lack of dimension, which made him internally frustrated. Yeun wanted Glenn to be more conflicted and have the same opportunities as the other characters. For example, in Season 3, when Glenn assumed that the governor assaulted Maggie, Yeun campaigned hard for his character to have some dark thoughts about it. I was like, yo, give me a storyline where I go to kill this guy. That didn't happen though, and that was when Steven knew his time on the series was coming to an end. And he had no hard feelings about it. Yeun actually thought there was something beautiful about turning the page and closing the book. He revealed that during his 6 seasons on The Walking Dead, he felt he grew as an actor.
Have a great experience like something like this. It unlocks other portions of who you are, and you get deeper, you get wider, you get hopefully wiser.
He felt ready to reveal other sides of his talent too. Still, leaving the show wasn't easy. An existential crisis. Years after his character's fate on The Walking Dead, Steven Yeun is still on good terms with his former co-stars. He shared that he regularly got the lowdown of what was happening on set. Yeun also revealed that leaving the show created an uneasy feeling within him. "I left Walking Dead and I kind of had an existential crisis," Steven admitted, "because I was made to feel the loneliness of life, which is that decisions aren't made for you." Still, he said at the time that he would never return to the show, even in dream sequences or flashbacks. In fact, writers were keen to have Glenn feature in Rick Grimes' hallucinations along with Shane, Herschel, and Sasha. The actor is aware that he'll be remembered in part for The Walking Dead for probably the rest of his life. But he really loved the fact that he could just seal that and say, "That's finished." He was also approached with an offer to play Glenn's origin story, but Steven rejected that idea point blank, calling it horrible. However, later, speaking to Larry King, Steven explained that he was a bit misquoted and that there was another reason he had no interest in playing his character again.
I don't want to go back to young Glenn. Not only could I not do that physically, I don't look like the kid that I started as at 25.
Moreover, he shared that mentally the character was in a very different place and he would not want to go back. But Yeun was, and always will be, grateful for the wonderful experience of being on the show and for all the opportunities he had after it. So why don't we see him on our screens anymore? What is Steven Yeun up to now? The actor revealed that after leaving his Walking Dead character, he finally found the time to answer some questions he didn't have time to before. He was like, "This was an experience, and now you're done, so now what are you?" With that thinking in mind, he passed on a lot of projects. Fortunately, thanks to his years on the hit show, he had some savings for a rainy day, so he could afford to be selective about his roles. First of all, Steven turned down those that felt too much like Glenn, even though those projects were great. "I hadn't realized how much of that experience seeped into my reality and my identity," explained the actor, "and I don't like staying in one place for too long." Since leaving the show, he's been working predominantly as a voice actor. Among others, he's been doing a flurry of work for Voltron Legendary Defender, Final Space, and even reprised Glenn in a voiceover role for Robot Chicken for its Walking Dead special. Aside from that, he took on a series of challenging roles in independent films like Mayhem and Sorry to Bother You. He also starred in the movies of respected South Korean directors like Okja and Burning. Quite recently, Yeun appeared in the film adaptation of the Tony-winning play The Humans. But he really made history this year when he became the first Asian American actor to score an Oscar nomination for Best Actor in a Lead Role. He got it for his work in the movie Minari, about a Korean immigrant family that takes up farming in rural Arkansas.
I read the script and I was blown away. I was in tears.
Steven also served as the film's executive producer. So who knows what he'll do next? Maybe he'll even go behind the camera. One thing that I'm realizing for myself is that I didn't even know what I could do until it was presented to me, reveals Yeun. I don't want to lose that sense of wonder. As for his fans, they would definitely want to see him on screen more often. What film would you like to see him in? Share with us in the comments. And while you're here, check out our other video about why other major stars of The Walking Dead exited the show. Stay awesome!